Approximately 1/3 of all food produced for human consumption is lost or wasted globally. Terro is making ocean-degradable and home-compostable, flexible packaging materials out of agricultural waste that would otherwise end up in landfill. Robert, how are you doing this, and how is it different from current recycling methods?
At Terro, we now have 7 patents that cover the process from extracting natural polymers from different types of agricultural waste towards purifying these polymers into natural resins that can be further processed on existing equipment. And then we supply these final formulated products to our downstream partners in which they can go directly to their machines, so it's highly scalable and meeting the cost that they're demanding.
Now, as your technology has developed, how has your market offering changed, as you originally were focusing on the dairy industry?
The dairy story was very funny because it started out with my uncle's dairy farm when I visited back in 2018. And at first, I was jokingly trying to help my uncle to repurpose all his unsold milk, which got expired. And he was saying, hey, why not give it a shot? So when I came back to the States over my summer break, I talked to one of my close friends who's a chemist. And then we start working in the lab at a university, and we came up with a solution that convert all these expired milk into textile fiber that can then be made into t-shirt, which was our first product. So throughout the years, we have repurposed several types of agricultural waste, ranging from beer waste to potato waste, now even to cellular waste. So it has been a long journey for us to taking up all these novel materials and creating it into new products to replace plastic.
And so what are those new products? How many are there? What do they look like across industry?
We heard the market. We are responding to the market's urgency, replacing flexible packaging. So now our primary focus is to replace this plastic packaging in our daily life, ranging from food packaging to home care packaging to F&B packaging, and even for our everyday paper cups coating layers that have plastic on it.
So how important then are partnerships for the company, and how do they inform your commercialization strategy, like the one that you formed with Unilever?
Partnership with big companies, small companies, and even mid-sized companies are super valuable, especially for startups. It's a huge validation for our work that went from lab to pilot, and now we're going to commercialization, which took us a couple of years, and we are very fortunate to have built this partnership and supporters that are not just paying us, but give us all these resources from their supply chain to their own downstream partners.
Speaking of your clients and partnerships, how customizable is your product?
We're focusing primarily on 2 types of products right now. One is the water-soluble films, which can then be applied to the detergent and laundry pots that we use to cleaning our dishes at home or cleaning our clothing at home. And the second product is the paper coating product, which is to replace the plastic linen on paper boards, paper cups, paper plates. That also has a huge and massive needs in these markets.
Where are you today when it comes to production capabilities and demand?
We have already successfully passed our pilot trials with our partners, and we do have a production line in-house that we own, that we can operate at 24/7. And now we are reaching to a point where we're raising capital to support our commercial scale production of thousands of tons.
How do you plan to stay competitive and insulate yourself from large companies like Dow entering the market?
First of all, we have to stay close to our clients, hear their feedback quickly and iterate quickly. That is something that big companies cannot do. They're very slow in their innovation and their transitioning. And second is to bring in more talents into our company. We don't want it to be massive, to be slow. We want to be on the right size where there's small level of command and it's direct to the point, so we can deliver our product again fast to our clients.
So how do you see these new types of products influencing consumer behavior and corporate sustainability decisions?
Well, numerous researchers have shown that consumers are looking into more sustainable and eco-friendly products. But what we have been aware is that consumers aren't willing to pay 3 times more just for something that is eco-friendly. It has to be cost efficient. Maybe 5 to 10% more is their max surcharge. They're willing to pay for it. So when we are developing a product or technology, we have to take into consideration on the cost of a material and what would be the final cost that we're supplying to our downstream partners, because they have to make profit at the end for their own product.